Hello, welcome to the program. I'm Jane Mutoni. On Tuesday, Prime Minister Dr. Eduardo Ngirente virtually addressed the 4th Forum on China-Africa Local Government Cooperation organized by the Chinese People's Association for Friendship with Foreign Countries. On Tuesday, Rwanda's districts held elections to fill the remaining 8 seats on their advisory councils. As we begin this edition, let us inform you that President Paul Kagame received Shaban Basij Rasik, founder of the School of Girls Leadership in Afghanistan, SOLA, at his office in village Urugwiro on Tuesday. This school has been temporarily relocated to Rwanda following the seizure of power by the Taliban in Afghanistan. Moving on Tuesday, Prime Minister Dr. Eduardo Ngirente on Tuesday virtually addressed the 4th Forum on China-Africa Local Government Cooperation organized by the Chinese People's Association for Friendship with Foreign Countries.
Addressing the forum, the Rwandan Prime Minister noted on the importance of the bilateral cooperation that exists between his country and China, as well as the broader Africa-China relationship in existence.
Our bilateral cooperation with China has played a significant role in the transformation of our key development sectors, including infrastructure, agriculture, health, education, ICT, trade, mining, transport, as well as tourism. China and Africa have worked hand in hand to strategically develop political and socio-economic ties, and now China is ranked among the top largest investors in Africa.
The benefits of this cooperation have become evident, especially now as Rwanda and the rest of Africa continue to battle COVID-19.
We have benefited from China's solidarity in the ongoing fight against the COVID-19 pandemic. For instance, China is one of Africa's biggest suppliers of personal protective equipment in fighting COVID-19. In Rwanda, China has supported our effort to fight COVID-19 with the distribution of testing kits, personal protective equipment, and vaccines.
Dr. Eduardo Ngirente also emphasized the importance of African countries exercising the political will necessary to sustain the mutually beneficial relations. The 4th Forum on China-Africa Local Government Cooperation was organized by the Chinese People's Association for Friendship with Foreign Countries.
On Tuesday, Rwanda's districts held elections to fill the remaining 8 seats on their advisory councils. Now, those who have been elected have been urged to do their best to ensure that their districts develop.
The elections involved council members from the sector level casting their votes for their desired candidates, and they heard what the candidates were offering, and they too had clear-cut demands for those vying for the positions. Sectors like Ndengo, Kabare, Rwinkwavu and Murama are very dry. They promised us that they are going to put a lot of effort in irrigation projects. And in the sectors of Murama, Kabarondo and part of Ngoma, there are major agricultural activities there, with vegetables being grown on 1,100 hectares of farmland. If there are any water shortages, they must address them using irrigation. The local residents face many problems and struggle to develop, try to improve their social welfare and boost the use of ICT. They should work with us at the sector level to help the people achieve these things. Those elected say they will stay true to the promises they have made. When people re-elect you to office, it shows a lot of confidence in your abilities and the fact that they commend your achievements during your first term. It also means, however, that you must increase your efforts to make progress and meet the many demands of the people, and there are truly many. Those that have been elected have been urged to talk to the people they serve so that they can truly understand the issues they have to deal with. District advisors play a role in every aspect of the lives of local residents, be it social welfare, the infrastructure put in place for them, and the different opportunities the government gives them. Things like the Jiringa program, community health insurance, the introduction of modern farming methods and animal husbandry for greater milk production. They should be advising all of those things. Here in the eastern province, in the areas we visited, there are a lot of agricultural activities with things like bananas grown, pineapples, beans, maize, and the people here also have cows. But they should be able to produce enough milk. What with the milk processing factory that is going to be constructed in Nyagatare. Up to 1,002 individuals stood for election on the district advisory councils, and those elected have now joined the 30% members that by law must be female. On Friday, the advisory council members will elect from among themselves the 3 who will make up the executive committees of the districts.
Thank you, Serge, for that report. Now, some of the youth that are around the age of 18 who missed an opportunity to get vaccinated for COVID-19 say they are happy to receive another chance at the vaccination, which is being done at places where huge crowds convene, such as bus parks all over Kigali. Martina Abera reports.
In different bus parks all over Kigali, the youth turned up in huge numbers to receive the COVID-19 vaccination, some of whom say they were busy with various activities, and others who say they are afraid of the needle, which prevented them from getting vaccinated on time. Nevertheless, now they have come to get vaccinated because they now understand the importance of vaccination on their lives.
I normally come here every morning to find a source of income and earn a living. That is why I didn't make it back home in time for the vaccine. Now I am very happy. I can see it is easier for us this way, and you can see that so many people have come to get vaccinated.
I missed the first opportunity to get vaccinated because I was sick. So now I thank the government for thinking of us, those who didn't get the chance the first time, and for giving us another opportunity. We cannot miss it again.
For us, the vaccinations came about when some of us were going to school, which caused me to not make it in time. Now the government has put us into consideration by helping us have another opportunity to get vaccinated. This makes me proud to be among the vaccinated, and I take this as an opportunity to encourage others to get vaccinated before they miss the opportunity.
The Minister of Health, Dr. Daniel Ngamije, gives hope to those who are still young who have not been vaccinated that the more the vaccines they receive, the more they will get vaccinated.
As vaccines become available, we will also reach the age of 12 and lower. We will of course reach as many people as possible so that we can have a large number of Rwandans who are vaccinated, especially those living normal day-to-day lives. These are students who go to school and many others, including those who work in hospitals who haven't received the vaccine yet.
The Ministry of Health also estimates that the nationwide vaccination plan has reached 25% based on their target of 7,800,000 people, with a target of reaching 40% by the end of the year. Martina Ebera, RTV News.
The British High Commissioner in Rwanda, Omar Ali Dar, appreciates the progress in the partnership of the United Kingdom and Rwanda. He made these remarks during a meeting with the Rwandan Senate President, Dr. Auguste Iyamuremye, on Tuesday. Olive Nete reports.
Dr. Iyamuremye Augustin, President of the Senate of Rwanda, expressed his gratitude for the achievements of the government of Rwanda and the United Kingdom in the fields of education, agriculture, climate change, trade, tourism, and more. The President of the Senate also noted that the discussions included how they can cooperate to bring to justice people hiding in the United Kingdom who committed crimes during the genocide against the Tutsi.
Those fundamental principles are what promoted us to request the United Kingdom to bring to justice perpetrators who committed genocide, still hiding there. They assured us that they are working on it.
In the interview with the press, the British High Commissioner in Rwanda, Omar Al-Dair, appreciated how the Rwandan Senate operates, and he said that it is one of the key factors in the country's development, and it also helps the Senate to better represent Rwandans. He also came back on how Rwanda takes the lead in preventing and addressing the effects of climate change.
Rwanda was chosen as one of the pioneer countries for that, which means I think that we will see more climate financing flowing here. And the reason for that is because the government is so clearly committed to this effort.
The United Kingdom and Rwanda have long-standing partnerships in different sectors, mainly education, trade and tourism. Olive Nete, RTV News.
Thank you, Oli, for that report. The issue of African coffee farmers not seeing enough of the profits their products bring in, as well as the fact that most of the coffee exported by the continent is not processed, hence returning to African markets at inflated price, are among the topics being discussed at the 2021 annual meetings of the Inter-African Coffee Organization here in Kigali.
Rwanda is drawing on the strength of her youth in addressing the problem of unprocessed coffee, encouraging young entrepreneurs to engage in the business of processing and packaging coffee products, while also urging older coffee farmers to adopt these practices as well.
We have realized that we as young people consume a lot of coffee while going out as such. Because we consume it so much, more than older generations, we also benefit from learning about how it is grown and processed.
Processing enables regular farmers to make more profits because it raises the price of coffee, encouraging them to grow more quality beans and supplying processing plants that in turn are able to meet the demand of countries with many consumers. During the 61st General Assembly of the Inter-African Coffee Organization here in Kigali, emphasis was put on allowing the voice of regular farmers to be heard.
I would like to encourage African countries to pay serious attention to strengthening our own regional body, IACO, because it will greatly enhance the competitiveness of African coffee when we work together to address all the issues that the industry faces today. My fervent desire is that the deliberation of this year's annual meetings will lay clear pathways for the revolution in the processing and consumption of African coffee by creating a coffee-consuming culture in our continent for the transformation of the African coffee value chain.
The Minister of Agriculture and Animal Resources, Dr. Geraldine Mucheshimana, explains the way Rwanda made sure that coffee farmers get enough profits.
All of us, member states, we should continue to invest more resources to the transformation of our coffee industry, looking at getting it from a subsistence subsector to a modern, competitive, and sustainable coffee industry, which should be profitable to all stakeholders. But I want to emphasize it should be profitable, especially to coffee producers who were at the bottom of the chain, but they play critical roles. They need to be motivated to invest in improved and sustainable agronomic practices, to join hands with other stakeholders to drive a prosperous coffee industry.
Africa's top coffee producers include Kenya, Tanzania, Ethiopia, Cote d'Ivoire, and Uganda, with Rwanda among countries with the best tasting coffee. As of 2020, the global coffee market was valued at slightly more than $102 billion.
Now, this is being addressed in the 2021 annual meetings of the Inter-African Coffee Organization here in Kigali. Now, moving on, officials at the Rwanda Environment Management Authority have noted that the unwillingness of developed nations to honor the commitments they made at the 2015 Paris Agreement on climate change will only make fighting the phenomenon and effects harder for developing ones.
Faida Zubeda is among the young people part of the Save the Environment Initiative program that attended the 2015 Paris conference.
I wish my desire was the support of loss and damage in COP26 this year, because in vulnerable countries as mine, women and youth face greater losses. like as a farmers, we always face floods and droughts according to the climate change. So my recommendation is to support the loss and damage. Also, my recommendation is that rich countries, they must make clear pledges about the 100 billion USD dollar to help the developing countries. Also, I want to see the greater ambitions just to support and make sure we keep 1.5 degrees Celsius.
The agreement outlined a plan to progressively reduce emissions and meet set targets by the year 2050, but things are not going as planned.
twari twiteze ko
We expected that the new market would include a certain percentage of funds set aside in the adaptation fund to help developing nations deal with the challenges of climate change, but it never materialized, at least not in the way we wanted. As long as the rich countries continue to drag their feet over reducing their emissions, we will continue to be affected. Developed nations had pledged to provide up to 100 billion US dollars so that developing ones could deal with the effects of climate change and mitigate them, but that money is yet to be provided as it should be. This has not stopped Rwanda from pushing ahead with her efforts to fight climate change and adopt measures to deal with its consequences. Rwanda was among countries to sign agreements worth 4 billion US dollars at the Paris conference.
592 employees who had been hired to construct a research center for the conservation of biodiversity network, especially for gorillas in the Volcano National Park, called the Ellen Generes Campus in Musanze district, say they are not only grateful to have been hired, but also for acquiring various vocational skills free of charge in the process. About 1,500 people were offered various jobs in the construction of the center, which started in 2022. Of these, 592 have been awarded diplomas for various professions in vocational trainings, which they acquired from there.
I was only a builder's apprentice when I started working here. Eventually, we got lucky because they told us that they will not only be paying us, but they will also educate us.
Engineer Kuradusenge Azarias, who was in charge of monitoring the construction of the center and at the same time training the employees, explained the courses that were being taught to these employees.
We began focusing more on masonry courses and then carpentry.
The Dian Fosi Gorilla Fund Administration has partnered with IPRC Musanze and Must Build GIZ to educate the community on these vocational courses. They are grateful to the graduates of these vocational courses and requested them to apply what they have been taught, as stated by Ndagijimana Felix, the director of the Dian Fosi Fund in Rwanda.
One of the main goals of this project was to provide employment to nearby residents, and we achieved it because most of the employees are from this area, and then educate them as well.
The Dian Fosi Gorilla Fund did not have its own building, as it was renting a small space to conduct their activities. The construction of the center is expected to be completed by 2022, as it has now reached 90% of completion, accounting for 13 billion Rwandan francs. Well, there you have it. On behalf of the entire news production team, thank you for your company. I'm Jane Mutoni. Bye for now.